friends. Today we're going to read a book about making other people feel good and making yourself feel good at the same time. It's called Have You Filled a Bucket Today? A Guide to Daily Happiness for Kids. And the author is Carol McLeod and the illustrator is David Messing. All day long, everybody in the whole wide world walks around carrying an invisible bucket. You can't see it, but it's there. Do you think this is a real bucket, like the kind you take to the sandbox, or is it an imaginary bucket? That's right, it's an imaginary, invisible bucket. You have a bucket. Each member of your family has a bucket. Your grandparents, friends, and neighbors all have buckets. Everyone carries an invisible bucket. Your bucket has one purpose only. It's only for one thing. Its purpose is to hold your good thoughts and good feelings about yourself. That's what your bucket's for. You feel happy and good when your bucket is full, and you feel sad and lonely when your bucket is empty. Other people feel the same way too. They're happy when their buckets are full and sad when their buckets are empty, right? It's great to have a full bucket, and this is how it works. Other people can fill your bucket, and you can fill theirs. You can fill your own bucket too. So how do you fill a bucket? How do you think? You fill a bucket when you show love to someone, when you say or do something kind, or when you give someone a smile. That's being a bucket filler. A bucket filler is a loving, caring person who says and does nice things to make others feel special. When you treat others with kindness and respect, you fill their bucket. But you can also dip into a bucket and take out some good feelings. You dip into a bucket when you make fun of someone, when you say or do mean things, or even when you ignore someone. That's bucket dipping. See, how does she feel when her bucket is being dipped out of? Not very good. Bullying is bucket dipping. When you hurt others, you dip into their bucket. And you know what? You'll dip into your bucket too. Many people who dip have an empty bucket. They may think they can fill their own bucket by dipping into someone else's, but that will never work. You never fill your own bucket when you dip into someone else's. How do you think you fill your own bucket? But guess what? When you fill someone else's bucket, you fill your own bucket too. You feel good when you help others feel good. All day long, we are either filling up or dipping into each other's buckets by what we say and what we do. Try to fill a bucket and see what happens. Can you think of some ways you could fill someone else's bucket? Some kind and loving things you could do for someone else to fill up their bucket? You love your mom and dad. Why not tell them you love them? You could even tell them why. Your caring words fill their buckets with joy. Watch for smiles to light up their faces. You will feel like smiling too. A smile is a good clue that you have filled a bucket. If you practice, you'll become a great bucket filler. Just remember that everyone carries an invisible bucket and think of what you can say or do to fill it. Here are some ideas for you. You could smile and say hi to the bus driver. He has a bucket too. You could invite the new kid at school to play with you. See how that fills up his bucket? You could write a thank you note to your teacher. That will help fill her bucket. You could tell your grandpa that you love spending time with him. There are so many ways to fill a bucket. Bucket filling is fun and easy to do. It doesn't matter how young or old you are. It doesn't cost money, and it doesn't take much time. And remember, when you fill someone else's bucket, you fill your own bucket too. When you're a bucket filler, you make your home, your school, and your neighborhood better places for everybody. Bucket filling makes everyone feel good. So why not decide to be a bucket filler today and every day? Just start each day by saying to yourself, I'm going to do something to fill someone's bucket today. And at the end of each day, ask yourself, did I fill a bucket today? Yes, I did. That's the life of a bucket filler. And that's you. So can you think of some ways that you could fill the buckets of the people in your family? Maybe your mom's bucket or your dad's bucket or your brother or sister's bucket or some of your neighbors' buckets? Try and think of some ways that you could do something kind and loving for them and fill their bucket, and then your bucket will get filled up too. Thank you, friends.